slow motion. Heavy bass shakes the devotion. Our daily drip shows emotion. Pouring knowledge, pure explosion. Jam Jones, plain Dame on the mic. Candy coated wisdom every night. Subscribe, scribe, tune in, we'll ignite. We out here shining bright. Every word like raindrops falling. Trippy beat keeps on calling. Audience minds, we're enthralling. In this group, we're all ballin'. Jam Jones, plain Dame on the mic. Candy coated wisdom every night. Subscribe, scribe, tune in, we'll ignite. We out here shining bright. Knowledge pouring, it's a flood. Words like diamonds in the mud. Connecting minds, we understood. This daily drip, it's in our blood. Knowledge pouring, it's a flood. Words like diamonds in the mud. Connecting minds, we understood. This daily drip is in our blood. Jam Jones and plain Dame on the mic. Candy coated wisdom every night. Subscribe, scribe, tune in, we'll ignite. We out here shining bright. Knowledge pouring.
Raindrops falling on the roof tonight. Heavy bass thumping got us feeling right. Daily drip show shining like a neon light. Pouring cups of swag till the morning bright. Step into the rhythm, let your spirit fly. Got that trippy beat taking you up so high. Every drop a diamond in the night sky. Level up your game, no need to ask why. Come get a cup, feel the magic flow. We pour into the audience, watch us glow. One drip at a time, take it nice and slow. In our daily drip show, let your style grow. Pouring into hearts with each heavy beat. Raindrops of rhythm make us all complete. Audience waving hands, feel the heat. Dripping in finesse, can't be. Colors of the night, mixing shades so deep. Every drop we spill makes the vibe steep. Cups overflowing as we take that leap. In the daily drip show, dreams we keep. Come get a cup, feel the magic flow. We pour into the audience, watch us glow. One drip at a time, take it nice and slow. In our daily drip show, let your style grow. Raindrops fall on city pavement, washing secrets in the dark. Daily drip, the crowd's amazement. Knowledge streaming comes to spark. Thunder in the nighttime sky.
Get them ready. What up? What up? Got the big bang bang. Revenge. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our daily drip show. I am the producer, the man behind the man. Pause. We're gonna pause with that. However, we got a good drip for you today. About to bring in the myth, the legend, playing this aim with his background noise at an all-time high. Playing this aim.
Yes,
You
sir.
over here playing it in the background. You need to not do that. Otherwise, you're gonna cause feedback.
All right, it's off.
All right.
It's off. I was communicating with my peoples. That
Yeah.
was on me.
Yeah, you could do that.
What's
but
going?
you know what I'm saying?
What's
You
going on, world? Shut
Can't
up.
nobody see you right now. It don't matter what the world see. Dang.
How's it going, everybody? See, I had to air punch this dude. What's going on, world? Thank y'all for tuning in. For those that could make it, plain Dane. About to get into some interesting drip. There's been so much conversation behind what we about to touch on today. So I said I gotta come in and give my piece on this because it's nothing new. We've been talking about it for a while. You know, the tariffs, and we got another conversation we're gonna engage in as well.
But first,
People
grip that button, y'all. So go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, comment. That's what we need. We need that engagement from you, so that we know that we doing it good, doing it long, doing it strong.
Right. I hope y'all like my indoor aquarium. You know, that's yeah.
All right. So we can just gonna go ahead and start this off because we ain't got that kind of time today. So
No, we got stuff to do.
yeah, so we can go ahead and pull out handy dandy Google like we usually do. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna
Yes,
talk
sir.
about Amazon real quick, specifically Amazon haul and tariffs. So I asked handy dandy Google, what's up with Amazon haul and tariffs? And so this is what we came up with. Amazon initially considered displaying tariff costs separately on its own haul platform, but the idea was rejected and the company denies any plans to do so on the main site. This prompted the White House to express concerns, calling it a hostile action, quote unquote. Amazon clarified that the team running haul, a discount platform for products costing $20 or less, had discussed the idea, but it was never approved and won't be implemented. The White House had expressed concerns about potential impact on tariffs and customer prices and prompted the discussion with Amazon.
Gotta love Google. Google, that's my favorite online custodians. They're custodians, man. The cleanup work over there is hilarious. Because let's be honest, how many private conversations pop out there publicly for us to actually have to see and endure from a company standpoint? How many? How many have we seen? You know, that was basically about to become a situation. They was doing a live beta test, if you will, to see who was gonna actually bite onto it. Then you know, Big Homie caught wind of it and was like, "Oh no, let me put this call in. Let me put this call in because y'all obviously playing all in my face, as the women folk would say. He playing in my face." That's exactly what Bezos was doing. He was like, "Let's see how this fly." Somebody was trying to basically get some friends in the left space, you know, with that one, because they knew what that was going to do. They drew a line in the sand with that one. Not only they wanted to make sure that we all could catch feelings off tariffs, which people have been catching feelings off tariffs. You know, ain't no secret. There's no secret about that. And two, let's justify hiking up prices on cheap products.
Pretty much. Not just cheap products, cheap ass products. That's
Yeah, let's put the ass on there. I didn't want to say it since you set
right.
it off. Let's set it off. They tried to hike. You trying to turn my $20 whatever into a $45 situation with your scantless asses. $1 billion company trying to pull a fast one on us. But you know, Trump was and his peoples was like, first of all, it became the he say she say at first. It was like, wait a minute, am I tripping? You know, then one person told another person told another person, and the person was like, let me go ahead and shoot this text on over to Trump and his team and let them know what Bezos trying to pull.
They tried to treat it like the club during All-Star weekend. You know what I'm saying? They tried to throw that premium on it.
I was good for that. Who outside? Oh shit, it's a Benz outside. Yep, y'all, it's $50. And then we had that little discussion. People coming up and down the stairs. They're like, "Hey, yo, Rolls Royce about to pull up. It's gonna be 100 by 12." That's what Jeff tried to pull. He said, "Wait a minute." See, the thing is this, y'all. The funny thing about this whole tariff situation that people really just—I'm not even gonna say they don't realize. It's the depiction of it in media, right? This is a war no different than any other war. The only difference is there's no bullets being shot, bodies dropping, you know, and we don't have people who design war weapons actually profiting from it. It's a different kind of war on a different kind of front. We're talking a financial tariff trade war. That's what it is. We're at war. There's no other way of looking at it. It's just not a bloody war. You know, it's not the kind of war that Congress tend to favor. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Crazy.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and play this clip real quick, and then we'll get into a couple questions that I might have for you.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are reports that Amazon is going to start posting the increased price of tariffs on goods on its site. And the White House was just asked about those reports. Here's what they said about Amazon. Have a listen, both, if you will.
This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump?
Oh, they cut that
Well,
off
this
real
could
quick.
really underscore
Didn't
for
it?
the average American just how impactful these tariffs
They said, no, we got to turn it
Okay,
up.
well,
Turn it
here,
up.
let's just pause it here and get your take on that interaction with the with the White
Right.
House representative there.
And that was the part I wasn't gonna dig into that until after the clip. But yeah, so you see what's going on. Jeff got a partnership with China. Jeff also wants to stir the emotions of the American people by hiking up prices. What was once $5, they trying to say, well, because of the tariffs, this is why we're charging 22. This is why we're charging 15. It's all because he has a partnership with a Chinese businessman over there to where he's probably getting things a little cheaper. But let's be honest, the majority of the stuff that you're probably going to see on haul, you can get in America anyways. I mean, and
So
that's
Temu. What?
say that again.
You say you can get it on Temu? What is that? What you said?
I mean, Shein, Temu. But bottom line is this.
Right.
What this whole tariff situation should be teaching everybody is we've said it before. It should be creating smarter consumers.
Yep.
You know, you don't have
I
to
agree.
just because that price is sitting there, don't mean you have to pay it. You know, I still got friends that'll be almost on E, but they'll drive 10 miles if they know that the gas is gonna be cheaper by 20 cents somewhere else, 30 cents, 40 cents.
You burned that.
You done burnt it going, but at the same time, in your mind, you're like, well, I'm saving this amount of money. You could do the same thing in this situation. I mean, just buy American made. It's very easy. It's very simple. You look at a price, you see it for what it is, you reject said price. And what happens? It's called supply and demand.
Right. I
You
mean, it's
supplying some stuff that we don't want at that pricing point, demand goes down.
it is no different than what other countries are already doing
Exactly.
to us. There are
Exactly.
like it's already happened before. Why don't our um have F-150s over in this
Right.
country or that country? It ain't
Right.
because and why are Fiat so cheap where they go, or BMWs way cheaper wherever they at with it. I'm trying not
Right.
to call out particular companies or not countries because it really don't matter. It's what everybody does. It's home team. So
Exactly.
what are you
We
going to
take
do?
care of our own.
There you
That's
go.
that's every how everybody else is such and such country first. We thinking about our people's first. America being first just sounds so weird. We putting ourselves first. People still don't understand that it's a distinct reason why so many foreigners want to come over to our country. Why? Because we buy everything. This is the place when you can get on your grizzly and change from being a consumer to being someone that's actually selling, and you can make
And
a lot
supply.
of money. And that's what other countries have already understood about us. We buy everything. So that's why we've been losing this tariff war way before somebody actually decided to fight back, i.e. Trump, you know.
Right.
And and I had to put this out there too, because people have been tearing me up in my DMs lately. I got a few people that watch some shows. They've approached me on the street. I'm not maggoted out like y'all might think I am. I'm gonna put that out there first and foremost. I don't understand our relationship with another country. I'm not even gonna get into different countries' names, but it's one in particular. I have no understanding why we're so protective of them. I don't know what they got on us. But yeah, I'm gonna touch on that in the future episode. But just know that I am highly critical of Trump as well. Probably even more so than most people are. But I do see things for what they are. And we're 100 days in, right? And yeah, there is some interesting things going on with this terrorist. But there's interesting things always going on when you're fighting a war. That's what this is. It is a war. It's no different than any other war. The only difference is that the people who manufacture war weapons are not getting rich, so they're not pro this war. And that's pretty much the base of it. But just be a smarter consumer. That's all you have to do. You won't be affected by a tariff if you're buying what's already stateside anyways.
I would
That's
be
it.
anti this war anyway. But to get back on what you were saying before about it being how other countries want to participate in capitalism, but they want to practice socialism or communism within their own areas, right? But then
Right.
practice capitalism with the United States. That
Exactly.
is actually where the issue is. That means that capitalism is holding up everybody else's fantasies. That's how I
Right.
can put it.
Right. Can't be a communist if you're not benefiting from some form of capitalism. That's just it. You can control what's going on in your own country, but when it comes to us, you like you pay more. We pay
Yeah,
less. That's it.
yeah.
We
So
sell you
what I'm gonna
whatever
do is
for much, much more.
I'm gonna force certain people to work for a certain price so then I can profit off the capitalism part of it. That's
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 it.
that's how and that's how Nike's made, or that's how whatever's
Exactly.
made.
And
So
that was my
yeah,
conversation with somebody else too. I said, so you sleep easier at night knowing 4-year-olds is sewing your shoes up and making your jackets and your sweaters for half a cup of soup or no money. You know what I mean? Little or no
right,
money, $3 a day. Like you can sleep easy knowing that that's going on right now. Tariffs level the playing field across the board. Problem is that we spend the most money on that board, and that has to change. And that's just it.
exactly.
So I'm looking at it for the long haul. I'm not worried about the right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull this one up so you hear, since we already here with it.
Mhm.
We got some issues going on. Okay, now we good. Oh, they done did us wrong. Yeah, but in the meantime, go ahead and talk a little bit about if you see impact. Oh, never mind. Hold up.
Act by Amazon.
The White House is blasting reports that Amazon is going to start listing the impact of President Trump's tariffs next to its prices on its website, as the president has been involved in this sweeping trade war that he's carried out, with China being the #1 target so far as they're negotiating with other countries behind the scenes. Caroline Levitt told reporters that she had just gotten off the phone with President Trump about this report in Punchbowl News.
Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Now, this is incredibly notable, just given how much the relationship between Jeff Bezos and President Trump has changed. After Trump won the election, Jeff Bezos and the president dined together. Bezos has praised him. He even attended his inauguration here in Washington.
Great. Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly, and he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
All right. So then that brings in another aspect of it, right? It might be his company, but who's to say that he the one who had that bright idea and let it go? Like, like Amazon is a monster, and
Yeah.
it's a monster that one man is not gonna be able to tame. It's too big for him to know about all of that stuff or care, right? I mean, like, yeah, you care, but at the same time, like, it's like a dog that got grown and like start,
Yeah.
like
But
you got it on a leash, but damn.
I almost feel like that came across somebody's desk. That had to get brought up at some point because that man has a relationship with Trump. He has a relationship with the White House right now. Dinners and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as he heard, like, I could blame him and not blame him at the same time because of what you just
He's
said.
accountable because it's his
name,
company.
his
He's the
face.
face. He's the
Yeah.
majority owner. But I don't think he was responsible for that particular
Right.
thing. You get what I'm saying?
Somebody in the think tank that have a very that's very left, because that's a
Right.
left move. Let's be 100. Like that's definitely a move because they're not happy about the tariff situation, and they're like, yo, this particular arm of our company has made so many millions per quarter. Now with this going on, we're gonna lose. So let's show them why we're upping the cost on things. That's all it was. And they're not the only ones to do it. There's other companies that's starting to do it too. They're starting to show the cost of a tariff for certain products. They're doing this purposely so they can say, don't look at us. We're just a little old manufacturing company. We're just a little old hub that sells this stuff. Don't blame us. We're trying to stay afloat as a business. Bottom line is, you're talking multi-billion-dollar companies in certain aspects that can eat some of that cost, right?
Shit, I ain't eating 200 and some percent.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
No.
You could,
but keep that right on the dock.
But there's a business
200%.
decision to be made there. There's a business decision to be made there.
All right. So for you as a consumer,
I'm gonna speak from a company and a consumer standpoint.
Okay.
So as a company, if I know that I've spent with company A overseas, X, let's just say 10 million, right? I spent 10 million with them over the last 3 years on products, right? My 10 million has netted me 40 million, right? Now, all of a sudden, I go back to that company because these tariffs is involved. I'm required to spend 35 million now. what I do, I look at that and I say, especially if it's for a cheaper brand, it's not even the main thing that I sell. Let me go see who can make this for me in Utah somewhere. Let me outsource state, countrywide to see who can do the same thing that this company is doing for a fraction of the cost. I might not have I spent 10 million with them, but I probably, if I stay home, I probably could spend 7. Right.
Yeah.
So
But
that's,
we're just trying to supplant, them from being the superpower that they believe that they are. But there are
right.
emerging markets, right? You got India as an emerging market. It's just
Yeah.
some of the quality control is still not there yet. But that,
Right.
that's 40, 50 years of China building up this manufacturing base with also looser laws, and again
Right.
communism being one of those major factors in being able to produce all the stuff that they can. Who knows how many people that got maimed and all of that stuff that used to
Yeah.
go in the US though, right? If you look historically, child
Yeah.
labor was what
Child
it
labor
is
is a thing in the mines. Little
mine.
Appalachian company, little upstart back in the 1800s. It was some 12-year-olds in there getting busy. Best believe that. So they didn't invent child labor. We just were the ones who said, "Wait a minute, y'all. This is a bit inhumane."
It wasn't that long ago either, because I mean, my grandfather, like it's a lot of people that skip school after
Oh yeah,
maybe fifth, sixth grade. It started
man.
started getting
Please.
to it. Like it's
Biggest
like that now.
expectation of child labor is farms.
Yeah,
That's been a thing. But bottom line is that as from a company standpoint, I outsource and see where I can get the cheaper pricing. It's real simple.
right.
That's really the whole point of the tariff thing, is to weaken them, to make them, okay, we're gonna charge this, and make people say, okay, I'm cool on y'all. I'm gonna just go elsewhere where I can spend less money. Now on the consumer leg of it, I'm looking at said company still sitting there trying to sell me the same product for twice the cost. Most of y'all make the same decisions when you go buy stuff to smoke, if you get what I'm saying. Man, last week, it was whatever it cost. Now because
Man,
we call
them
it
tariffs came through, dog.
the
I'm sorry.
tariffs that
I'm
came
saying.
through now, and they came. It's voodoo dust now, and voodoo dust cost. Nah, brother, I'm cool. I want the old. I don't want the voodoo dust. I want the angel.
No, we do
Nah,
not promote
no,
drug
we're not
use
promoting
on this
none of that.
particular
But you get what I'm saying. A lot of you all seem to have a lot of common sense when you're spending money elsewhere. But all of a sudden,
like
you
health
lost
food.
online and you got this mouse in your hand. Oh my God, I don't know what to buy. I guess I'll buy what I no. I don't want that product anymore because it costs too much. So guess what
Right.
the company's gonna do? Guess this is not selling no more. We'll do away with this. Okay,
Now,
so apparently the pricing is too high. Let me drop this down more so I can get them comfortable. Just the same way they do with inflation. Same thing.
so for you personally, have you seen any impacts on anything from tariffs yet? Anything that you've went to the store, went to the mall, went and tried to get some online. Have you seen any impacts of the tariffs yet from a
No,
personal perspective?
no, no.
Right.
I mean, honestly, because I mean the same stuff. A lot of the stuff that I buy, I'm real big on American made stuff, anyways. Even down to wardrobe, whatever I'm wearing. A lot of this stuff is made here anyhow. You know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm not really my Gucci Louis days. I'm off that. Whatever I still have from those brands is vintage, and I could wear that anytime I want to, and it still be fly. I don't have to keep buying that stuff. A lot of the stuff that we want, you know, if bottom line is if I see something that's costing above what I'm willing to pay, I'm just not buying it. It's really simple. And
Makes sense.
I have 3 closets worth of clothes. So I'm not going to be affected by that part. When I go to the grocery store, I'm looking, I'm not, my tomatoes didn't cost that much last time I went. I'm not feeling it that bad. I've heard people talking. That's the only effect I've seen is conversation. It hasn't affected my bank book at all. Did that make sense?
Yeah. So I got two more questions with this. The first one is, so with all of this, then what's the price of freedom then when it comes down to this? Everybody talking about it's a lot of pain. People in different areas, right, are being impacted. To be honest, right, you got certain industries that are impacted by this because you can't sell certain products, or you can't pull in products to even make certain things domestically because of the supply chain. We don't make it here, right? So it
Right.
costs more to get certain pieces to the stuff that I want to make.
And I would say this: the only time, because I drive a foreign car, I'm probably gonna feel it. I do gotta I gotta go get a light fixed.
Oh,
So
the
I might
part.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get a certain part to my car. So I might feel that pinch a little bit. You know what I mean? My oil change is still the same. It's a fairly newer car. If I had an older car, I probably would see it more that way. I'm not gonna sit and pretend like I live in a bunker and I just don't see prices changing. There has been some changes here and there, but I'm not deeply affected like that. Stock portfolio took a little bit of a dive. Not really tripping on that either. Some certain things on its way back up anyways. So I'm
That
not
should be a long
po
term perspective
yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
I'm long term anyways. I'm not, but see, that's me though. I don't live in the now. I understand what's being done right now because they've been whooping us on tariffs, period. We've been the whipping boy of the whole tariff situation for the longest. The only difference is that it wasn't hyped up by the media like it is now. You know what I mean? So
All right.
we just came out of we basically had to weather the storm of a 4-year inflation. Had nothing to do with a tariff. In fact, there was tariffs in place at that point that Trump put in previously. It wasn't,
That
nothing was
that what
affected
kept.
then
Yeah.
when it was, they kept those because it was helping. It changed the landscape a little bit, but now we're in a real war where you're like, oh, okay, you want to go this way, I'm gonna go that way. And then he actually is starting to give some breaks to automakers. So I mean, there's certain things that he's using tariffs as a bargaining chip at this point. If you see how he's moving, they're like, we don't know what he's gonna do from day to day. He's using them as a bargaining chip to get certain things done and build businesses here. So eventually everything that we want overseas is gonna be right here stateside. I'm just giving it another year or two. There's a lot of factories being built now. Like I said, they making Louis Vuitton in Texas.
Right.
LVMH is making stuff stateside now. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff is changing. It's just some people are going to feel the pinch. It just is what it is. There's no way around it.
All right. So
But
that brings me to my last question before we get into our next area. Do you see a reversal in the midterms election because this is so painful? Do you believe that we're gonna see some changes politically?
no, because this is what he campaigned on. This is what he campaigned on. So those who know were like, well, he said this was going to happen. People, Elon was even saying it. Well, you're gonna feel the pain a little bit at first, but for the most part, this was expected. You know what I mean? Honestly, those who actually put money into his pocket throughout this campaign, they knew this was coming. Everybody that's been around him knew this was coming. He's been speaking out about it for how long now? So if you already roll with him to the White House, why change up now?
Well, because
Now,
you know how it go where people be fans of a specific team, that team start losing, and then all of a sudden, I'm a fan of the championship team. That's that's how that go,
but
right?
yeah, but let's be honest. Who you got to look at who's reporting the losses. Who's
Right.
reporting the losses? The same news outlets that's been telling you that he's losing every time they open their mouth. When you dig into it and you look at it, it's affected some things, but not to the point where the cost of live, like gas, is not high. Regular goods going to the grocery store, a lot of us are not affected by that, the cost of that stuff. We've been in inflation, we've been paying for inflationary pricing before he even got back in office. So the pricings where they are, We're not affected by it. Tariffs have not affected you that much unless you are a business. Right now, as a consumer, you can make a decision. It's not like it's being forced on you. I mean, is it fair to say that, producer?
Yeah, it's fair to say that.
It's just you just making a decision. Do you want those jeggings? It's gonna cost you. That was once $30. Now it cost you $60. Or do you look and see who else got a better price on them and you spend your money there?
Yeah.
It's just
I
forcing
saw
people to
certain
become
companies like
smarter.
Fabletics, like they pivoted from being like a the high end selling high ass leggings, and then they
Yeah,
switched over to a subscription model because because in the midst of all of this tariff stuff is about to go down. So they try to lock cats in and try to have them in these gold programs and this and that.
yeah,
So I
right.
mean, a lot of people gonna try to switch over to the subscription model to to
Yeah,
keep people
my
locked in,
wife
like
had
they
that.
forget their gym membership.
Yeah, she was doing that. I'm like, how much you about to work out with all this stuff?
Like you need something every month.
You need something every month. You need a different color legging every month to work out in. I mean, don't get me wrong. Leggings and all of that became normal, but they had
Right.
like the sportier, and the bras. I'm like, so instead of 20 bras, you need 50. Like you sitting there, and then after a while, I think they even started sending the same colors. I'm like, man, discontinue that. Like, stop, cut that off. So that subscription model, I get it. I've seen a couple of companies do that, but bottom line is, you can make a decision. That's it. It's not like, oh my, we're not in we're not in Asia or in some of these Chinese countries where you're forced to spend, like you can't make a decision. Like, no. We can make decisions here. None of this is forced on us.
I'll tell you what is forced though. Got to get
Better get your
the
coins
big
together. May
payback,
5th. May 5th is around the corner.
revenge. Ooh.
I can't believe you pulled this.
Get down.
I make
Oh
I
my
make good
oh
money.
Lord.
I make good money. I make good love too. Rest in peace,
Rest in
James
peace.
Brown, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
All right. So we got that going on. But
Yeah.
what we talking about? We
The
talking
big
about
payback.
right, the big payback. And
Big
what is
payback.
that? We talking about Kevin.
them, them college loans for y'all going to school to study a 3,000-year-old dead language. That's what we talking about. All you humanities majors talking about some. I'm studying the language of ants in Ethiopia. Shit, and now you working at Walmart as a greeter and a part-time Uber driver and everything else you're doing. And every time it comes time to pay, defer until they said, no, we need our money, Jack. We need our money, Jack. So a lot of people have been panicking. A lot of people like, well, they like,
Handy dandy Google. Why are people panicking? The education department said it will begin forced collections on loans in default on May 5th, which means any tax refunds and other federal payments can be withheld and applied towards your debt. Specifically, seizures from reoccurring payments. So this is people that said, I ain't gonna work.
right.
I'm gonna just go ahead and get this Social Security benefits. Like Social Security benefits won't start until June, so you got extra month
Mhm.
with Social Security getting garnished. But everything else, like Pooh Shiesty.
So look, so
He
another
said, "Get it back
conversation
in
I've been,
blood."
yeah, get it in blood. So another conversation I've been having, man. People, a lot of us went to school, right? Especially a lot of our women who are right now, Black women are the most educated women on the planet, right? the most educated women by far on the planet. They live in a classroom, right? College classrooms, right? But they're also the most in debt right now. And then you're upset because they want their money. Why didn't we think about this before we took on that major? We was taking out all these extra loans and living off the loans and got all these credit cards and you partying and you in Tulum and you in a two-piece, you know. You might have spent some money on that BBL out of that college money, you know. You wasn't buying books, you was buying looks, you know. And now they like even if you look at some of these shade rooms and all of that, everybody was banking on Biden to get rid of the loans, get rid of the loans, get rid of the loans. And I'm trying to tell folks, like, no, that's billions of dollars right there. Trillions.
It might be trillions, yeah.
It's trillions. We talking the debt, we talking compounded interest onto those loans that you took out, you know, when you was going to school because you wanted to learn African American studies and you were trying to learn about gender affirmation classes and all this old trash that wasn't going to get you a job at CVS. You know, let's be honest about it. A lot of them people are cashiers right now. Some of them are strippers. It is what it is.
So for the new generation, what should they be looking at if they choose to go to school? Because this completely changes how people should be looking at school.
Right.
So the new generation, because it's over with for this one, is to look at what's called ROI.
Right.
Especially if you're paying for school. ROI.
Return on investment. What am I going to
allow
school
you
for?
To live and pay back these loans at the same time.
How much does this particular major, what kind of jobs are going to be lined up for me if I major in this particular study? What is the base salary? How much am I going to make? You know, okay, how much am I going to pay monthly towards getting this loan together? How much am I willing to spend? Where am I going to live while I pay this off? Because most people graduate from school, you spend your first 20, 30 years paying off loans. If you got a decent job and you're very responsible with your money, sure, you can knock it down. But I mean, you got people going to be pharmacy techs in schools, right? They're taking out loans like they pre-med. You know, like they going to law school, like they're spending some money. You talking 300,000, 275,000, you know, and then it come back around. Average pay for a good pharmacy tech, and it really depends on the state. You're looking at probably base salary about 75, 68, maybe. If you're really good at your job, you probably end up making about 110. High end, probably 125, 130. But keep in mind, you took out a loan for almost 300K.
Even doctors, you know, when they go into specialties, dentists, right?
Dentists,
It costs money you be in school for 10, 11 years.
Yeah, you in school forever.
And then so that could be up to $1 million in debt there. And then you got to open up a practice, right?
Right.
So from that point, and it's basically like an apprenticeship at first anyway. And then after that, if you get your own practice, you're gonna be in debt a couple $1 million there. Like, so like you might be making money, but you making it to pay back all of these loans. Like, and you got the prestige of being a dentist, a doctor, you know, whatever. But like you a slave to that profession. Literally.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, that, and I feel like with people that go into those fields, there should be some leniency towards the interest accrued. It should be, because they are, to me, they're performing a public service with their time.
It's for the greater good.
It's for the greater good.
People need their teeth did.
People need good teeth, and people need to be able to remain healthy.
They need
So
them Varniers.
but you people out there studying damn mice squeaking Latin and all this old goofy humanity stuff that really makes no money. I don't know what to tell you all. Roll the clip.
Borrowers with student loans will have to pay up. Starting May 5th, the Education Department will resume collections for more than 5 million default federal student loans. The department will also start garnishing wages for borrowers in default after a 30-day notice. No federal student loans have been referred to collections since March of 2020 when COVID restrictions began.
5 years, boy.
Yeah, because I mean,
years.
Yeah, we thought. I mean, y'all thought it was a joke when COVID hit in 2023. They was like, you ain't deferring nothing. You can't defer nothing after this. You better figure it out. And now y'all like, Daddy Biden, please get rid of this. No. Make better decisions. Listen to mom and dad when they telling you, are you sure about that major? Are you sure? You know, and is that major what are you really trying to do with your life? Is there a decision made? I don't care about the parties. I don't care about the sororities or the fraternities. What is this major going to bring? What kind of value?
Don't go to school just to bark and dance. Don't do all that.
Now you owe 300,000,
80,000, right? 50,000
for every time you did this. And, now your ass, that's another 100K.
And you got to pay dues for that too.
Got to pay for that. And you bought them jackets. You paid your dues too. Sorority got their money and fraternity got their money first. Now here come the banks. So we gotta be careful, gotta be smart, man. There needs to be a decision made. There needs to be some I think this is gonna spark a lot of conversations in a lot of different households. There's a lot of kids going off to school this fall. You know, please make a sound decision about what you're going to school for. Because little Teddy might not make it to the NFL. You might not make it to the NFL, so you better have something to fall back on. Is actually going to pay back them loans, or
you better actually go to class,
or you better actually go to class because you better be trying to get you some grants. You better be trying to get some award money. Shout out to my people. There's a lot of people I graduated with. They got tons of money, bunch of grant money, barely. And you also you better look at that college you're going to too. Because community college don't sound that bad these days. Considering what you want to spend. Community that state school sound kind of attractive now, don't it?
It sounds doable.
Yeah. Like
especially if you take your time and you go to the community college, you knock out all your prerequisite classes that you need. And then you go like that means you go to college with the actual plan, not going to college for the experience. Right? Like you riding a ride. You went to Disney World, you went to College World and came out with a couple bags of trinkets and a bunch of debt. And do you regret that ride?
And a bunch of bodies and experiences, sexual and otherwise. And now now it's time to start adulting. Now you getting faced with that. So what you gonna do? What did you apply? Now your folks blowing down. They want to see you use that humanities degree that you got. Because if you're not going to school to do anything with infrastructure, or you're doing anything in the, or working in the private sector, something that's actually going to make a difference and actually really make some money, May 5th looking kind of crucial for some of y'all.
It's coming up too close. That's what it is.
It's around the corner.
This is the time where I go to Plain Dame and I say, what questions do you have for the chat, for our day drippers out there that you want them to leave in the comments? What's the questions that you got for them on the tariff front and then on the student loan front?
Right. So my first question is this: how has the tariffs personally affected you? Producer asked me that. Cassius asked me, how it's affected me. My answer was, no, it has not affected me. because I've always been I'm not gonna say I'm the smartest with my money. If I like something, I buy it. It just is what it is. But I do have a means to where I can get that money back. If I spend too much, I gotta chill for a second, but I'm gonna get it back. But has a tariff affected you and your household, whether you're a consumer or a business person? I would love to hear your take on it. Because a lot of people complaining, and the people I'm seeing complaining, they're just listening to the media. So that's my first question. All right. My second question is this: as a business, do you think that it's smart to post how much a product is costing you tariff wise? That's one question. That's another question I would
Yeah, as a
ask you.
business, you think you're gonna get empathy from people because you just
As a
it's not me.
business,
It's
as
not
a
me, baby.
business, do you think, on a personal level, as a business, do you think that it's wise to use that, to pretty much compensate for why you're charging what you're charging?
You
So,
remember like back during the pandemic days, people was charging like COVID fees and all that. Remember that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And my third
Right.
question, I'm gonna give you, this is a scenario based question for you. All right. You have a child, right, that's on their way to school. Career wise, what are some of the conversations you want to have with said child to avoid them being behind the eight ball, so they're not one of these May 5thers out here? That's what I'm going to call them, the May 5thers. People that got to pay back a substantial amount of money, but may not be making that money. What kind of conversations are you having with your kids? What kind of professions do you want to kind of make sure that they're going towards? List as many as you like. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just curious to see how you guys are responding to this situation, because it's gonna get real. It's gonna be a lot of crying online. You thought you saw a lot of crying when Trump first got elected. Wait till you see these folks who about to see, thinking that they can drop out of life and go nomad and not work, and now their social security checks is being garnished. Wait till we see that take place. So it's gonna be really real out here, for real. So those are my
Right.
only questions at this time.
Okay. Final drip. Don't drown. So let us know your final thoughts while we go ahead and getting out of here. We actually
All right.
brushing up on the hour, so we doing pretty good.
Nice. So final drip. All right. I've said this before throughout this conversation, because that has been my main conversation. We've seen many wars happen, right? We've seen the Gulf War happen. A lot of you were around for that. We've seen the results of what happened during 9/11. We've seen a lot of different things take place. We've seen a lot of bloody wars. We've read about a lot of bloody wars this country has fought. This is a financial war. We're not seeing any bullets being shot. We're not seeing any countries being invaded. None of that is going on, right? In fact, when you think about it, when's the last time you heard about a war really going on right now, right? Like, it's funny how that's not even being reported on right now. Because, yeah, Zelensky and them is still at it. But bottom line is, they so focused on this particular war because this is just another angle for them to say, Trump bad. We told y'all he was terrible. But bottom line is, that man is fighting a war. And again, I have to say this for the people in the back, way in the back, in the cheap seats. I am not pro every single thing that Donald Trump does. Again, I didn't mention this before. I'm going to mention it now. I do not understand our relationship with Israel. I just don't. I don't understand why we're so sensitive to their cause. I don't get it. I just don't. That October 7th, forget about it. I'm still, that's real. And it's sad. Look that up, if you guys are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about. But bottom line is, 100 days in, if you had some significant investments, you're feeling it. It's real. You're going through a little something. But is it enough that's crippling you to the point where, you're like, oh my God, my life is in the crapper? No, it isn't. Bottom line is we just need to make better decisions. Same thing with the loans you take out, whether it's a home loan, whether it's a loan for a college course, whatever type of loan you're taking out, you got to look at everything as a whole, and you got to also look to the future. Where am I going to be, or where do I wish to be in life at the point in time where I have to start paying some of these monies back, and I have to start looking at how I live my life before I got to this point. Because, you know, whatever you're doing in your younger years, you're going to pay for it when you get older. If you smoke crack as a teenager, you're going to be a messed up adult. Life comes at you fast. It's just you better prepare for it, you know? ROI. ROI. That's what life is about right now in everything that you're doing. What is the ROI? What is it?
That's a really good one. Because don't be out here just floating. You gotta, even if you have a piece of a plan that gets you to your next step, your micro steps. That's all it takes. So look at your return on investment when you're making decisions. When you're in relationships, what's the return on investment with your friends? Yeah.
Who you marrying? Who you dating right now?
Yeah. What's the ROI on that? Yeah.
What's the ROI on that? What's the ROI on letting that young man come through with no condom? What's the ROI on, I'm just gonna such and such want to lend some money. Want to borrow some money from them. They want to borrow a big number too. What's the ROI on that? Can you charge interest on that loan you're giving that person?
I know cats that do that because they want their money back. You know what I'm saying? I know cats that do that. Make people actually sign a promissory note and everything.
Yeah,
for $40. So
it's smart business.
Yeah,
you said Tuesday. Yep. You said Tuesday, so I'm coming Tuesday. What do you mean you ain't got it on Tuesday? Did you read the fine print? Now I need 60 by Friday.
All right.
What is the ROI? So that should be on your psyche right now.
Damn,
everything right now should be an investment. Everything should be an investment right now, and it has to be a worthwhile investment. The greatest investment is time.
Where
your greatest sweetheart that's watching this or going to be watching this, or my guy that's in the world right now trying to figure some things out. Look at your circle. Look at who you choose to be around. Look at that woman you laying down with. Look at your household. Time.
Even sometimes it might be your family too. That's
time. Your family will waste your time. Them friends you hanging with, if you standing there with them and the only thing they got for you is some bad news and a beer, is it worth your time? Time is one of our greatest investments. Don't waste it. That's all I got for my day drippers today.
That was good to vibe out to.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all for coming to drip with us one time. And let us know about the music. We got some great artists that's been sending us some music for this show too.
Glad we got some connections. Glad we got the connections for that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I received feedback on these thumbnails and say that they good, they different.
Yeah. Shout out to the people. I just put to the people that's I put the thumbnail in my story too for this show.
All right. So thank you to our day drippers. Hit us up on IG. Hit us up on all the socials. Plain Dame. Shout out your socials before we get on out of here.
All right. Plain_Dame on Instagram. I am still I'm not changing my handle on X. I refuse to. Let me run through them, man, because I be messing up a lot of my stuff. I am still on X, Young Fossil, or at Dame Senior, Dame SR. Facebook, you got to get to know me to get that one. But if you follow me on any on those other socials, I'll easily
You look for him as his Facebook be popping.
My Facebook jump off, so I can't. It's actually a closed situation. I can't. I don't have room for any new friends. But you know, I lose a friend every day because everybody does not love my viewpoints. But you know,
Man, you go back to your MySpace, you and Tom could be friends. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a millionaire. I'm chilling.
All right. Peace, love, and soul.
Appreciate y'all. Pray for my May 5thers.